records against many provinces, so best the visitors focus on making history, not dwelling on it. The officials for this afternoon's encounter is Shane McDermott, and he'll be assisted by Mrs. Carl Johnson and Gavin Kate.
Wait for TV, boys.
And the TMO will be Johnny Rice. And this is a crossover match at the Premiership team's behest, the hosts inviting a championship team to town. Though in Canterbury's current form, it's a bit like the Romans asking the Christians round for tea at the Colosseum, no matter the opposition. They are unbeaten at this venue. Will that record be intact in the next 80 minutes? Let's find out as Hayden Parker gets the next instalment of another Super Saturday of rugby on Sky Sport. And Otago will be able to apply a pressure immediately inside the 22. But Canterbury in control. Hines confident he has it. He has the confidence of the referee as well. Not rolling away. Penalty ensues.
Well, how strong's Osborne? And he's got the ball in one hand again. He seems to be the only way he tends to hold the ball. He's just got such a big mitt, but really they're not going to have much opportunity if they keep on giving penalties away to this Canterbury team, because they'll punish you.
Just hold the ball, please. There you go.
First line out.
No. Here, Blue.
Ben Finnell feeding.
Thank you.
Mr. McDermott ensuring the gap is as wide as it need to be. So we'll see if that gentle breeze has any effect on the first throw. None at all. Beautifully taken off the top by Simmons, but not quite so tidy in behind. So the first fumble by the hosts.
Well, really, they've got two very, very strong halfbacks, this Canterbury side. An All Black sitting on the bench as well, and Willie Hines, he really has been outstanding for the Crusaders. Captained this Canterbury team at the start of the season as well. A lot of experience. Just a slight knock on there. It definitely won't put him off his game though.
Pack weights in favour of Otago. So it's going to be Tanaka with his first feed, but not given the opportunity to do so.
Well, Willie, this part of the game is going to be so important. We haven't really had a lot of clean scrums in this competition with the new rules, taking these guys a lot to adjust to.
And it's always normally when the referee goes around the other side that we get a decent scrum, so it'll be quite interesting to see whether the ball is actually firstly put in straight, and secondly we don't get a collapse.
Crouch!
Well, we'll get a second crack at it.
Lines! Sit!
No chance whatsoever, so this isn't a great start to the set piece, especially on a day which I'm sure both sets of backs are keen and willing to throw it around. And if you think about it, Otago, they can play with some audacity today. Given the results elsewhere, a win could put them back on top of the championship table, whereas a loss would see them stay pretty much where they are, mid-table, so they can be adventurous. Similar for Canterbury. A win would see them move to second, a loss and they'd stay safely in the top four. But they both prefer the victory. This time Kanaka gets the nod and the ball in. The pressure from the Canterbury scrum is ominous and forces the front row of Otago to stand up and therefore infringe.
Yeah, Moody far too strong there on the loose head side for Canterbury, and you could see them too. They were just targeting, waiting for the ball to be put in. Two 25-year-olds, Manson against Moody, and Moody gets first points.
And Tyler Blindell to touch. I'll be interested, Brendan, in your opinion about Blindell in a minute.
As we see there, Coltman just popping straight up, massive pressure. And I would say that this Canterbury side's probably got a slight edge when it comes to the front row, but yeah, Blindell, he really has taken the line on a lot more this season, Tom, and he's really put the defence under a lot of pressure.
I ask that now because this is exactly the position that he does run freely from. But the crooked throw has meant it's a stuttering start to this encounter. I don't think you mentioned, Brendan, how many games you won in those encounters with Canterbury over the years.
Yeah, to be fair, Tom, I was trying to keep that on the down low. I must admit there wasn't a hell of a lot up here in Christchurch, that's for sure. And I must admit, when we did play them up here, it was such a tough match. But it's just great to play against Canterbury every time we did. It was just such a big match, and you were playing against the best, which is exactly what Otago's got today.
Boys.
It's very protective of their home environment, as I mentioned here, since they started at the beginning of last season. They haven't lost a game at this venue, and they like to make it a bit of a fortress, and they're really imposing brute strength at scrum time, making it very difficult for Otago to get any position. They have it last, and they're going to run it. It's a strong tackle out on the Fuatai. He couldn't make any progress once the defender come upon him. But the advantage will be with Otago. Parker's kick is beautifully judged. It'll bounce kindly. And the clearance kick from Tom Taylor will find the ball back inside Otago territory, but ball in hand. Kick through will bounce inside the field of play and then further inside the field of play. Collected by Karasoma, and he runs strongly. Yes, he has so often. Places it nicely. Blindell, therefore, has the backs on the front foot. Looking to keep it in hand. Osborne in one hand slips through the tackle. Only dangerous practice, but applauded if it comes off. Ball to ground, available quickly to Hines, to Blindell, through the hands, Whitelock dispossessed, but backwards, the referee happy. And not with the Katasoma, who makes such good decisions, and that was another one. He put it to the inside of Brown, back to Katasoma, back to, yes it is, Adam Whitelock for yet another try. Not just a try, but a spectacle.
Well, Tom, that is just a fantastic effort by Canterbury. They were under the pump a wee bit. They put a lot of pressure on Otago at scrum time down this far end in Otago's territory, but man, they just support the ball carrier so well. Get in good positions to offload, and an 80-metre try. Really fantastic effort.
Yeah, it was. It was Ketasoma who got involved so many times, the left winger. Have a look at this. Firstly, the class of coming around, and then he just put his foot down here. Decided to back his gas. Good support play on the inside from Brown, the open side flanker, and then look at this. Transformation inside, and then out to Whitelock for his 5th try in 2013. Canterbury at their best.
Yeah, and the other thing there, Willie, is every guy's making the right decision, aren't they? They're putting the pass in the right spot. And just great backing up.
I tell you what stood out for me, Brendan, with this young Karasoma. I've watched him several times. He's had the line open. He might have been tempted to just gun it, but every time he's looked at what his best option was, and every time he makes the right call. And for a young lad, that's wonderful.
Yeah, did right, because he is, to be fair, a 7 specialist. He's came into a 15-a-side team, and this Canterbury team, though, they really work hard on making good decisions at the right time, and you're dead right, he's done it every time.
Well, we tossed up as to who would be the goal kicker, and Taylor has won that toss, and that is why, because he steps up after a couple of weeks off, slots the first goal as if he did it yesterday.
Well, Willie, that is probably one of the worst starts Otago would wanted. A lot of pressure at scrum time.
Well, they're getting a hiding there at scrum time, and then when they kick the ball away, their biggest problem is they're missing first up tackles. And so once Ketasoma got up and over the advantage line, that's where Canterbury decided to play their natural game of spreading it from side to side.
So tough, Otago trying to get back on that winning trail. The start of the season so impressively. And morale shattered by the Shield game. They tried to get it back last week, competitive till half-time, and then just let that game slip. They want to make their mark today against one of the classiest oppositions in the comp. Blindell, again, having a look at what was best for his team. Going to deck was it. Clearance kick will be the safer choice this time round. And safely into touch, 8 metres on their side of halfway from Taylor.
And that's the other thing they do well. And I know we've talked up Canterbury quite a lot this first sort of 5 minutes of this game, but they just do their exit strategies very well. They're really simple. They get a good platform, put the ball into the guy's hands doing the kicking, and get their territory that way. They do it very well.
Well, the best way to respond for Otago is to get to the set piece and win it.
So they've won the line out impressively. There's no problem there. And now they need to build on that from the back. Breen comes in to kick the chase now. They're in a likely position to score. They have! It looks a wonderful finish from Fuatai. They don't even go upstairs. That is the response the blue and golds wanted.
Well, fantastic effort, Otago. They really have been under the pump this first 9 minutes of this game. But what we saw there is they've tried to push the ball wide early, Hayden Parker wasn't the first receiver, Jaden Spence was. And they moved it into Breen's hands. As we see here, great win of the line out. Tanaka, quick ball, beautiful wide ball into Breen's hands. And this kick here was an absolute cracker, Willie.
Yeah, the double miss, and then as soon as Fuatai had their place, tell you what, Ricky Herbert might be signing him up for the All Whites at the World Cup. He'll be better than Ben Sigmund anyway at the moment, but we'll look at the control here. That's the most important thing, the little touch and the awareness of just grabbing it and planting it over the line. Great response, Otago.
Oh, great skill work too, because that really was a hard ball to get down to, but Fuatai, magic work.
And Hayden Parker bounced back so well after that Shield game. Very mature head on those shoulders. Came back, had a perfect kicking record last week. He'll look to do the same here. Every point will count. And that try deserves a conversion. And he obliges. What a fantastic start to a wonderful game so far.
Well, afternoon rugby too. Isn't it great? I don't think I've seen an afternoon game where we haven't had an entertaining match, to be fair, Tom. So this is going to be great if it carries on at this pace.
Well, both teams, right attitude for the conditions. Let's have some fun out here. And I think we're in for entertainment plus. If the first 8 minutes is anything to go by, Bryndale goes deep for this one. And immediately, Cocker Hooper's Fuatai thinking, oh, I'll have another go. Ball available. Tanaka might be a little bit more circumspect than he is. Puts the kick up high, but there's a question mark of it. How far? They'll just thrive on this. Well, Taylor gets cut down early. And then an entry problem from Blake means it's a penalty.
Beautiful tackle too, right round the boots. Taylor was always going to have a go. Tui for it. Nice pass in to the fullback. Plenty of space in front of him, but a beautiful tackle right round the boots here. And then on his feet. But what it was 7 from Canterbury.
Yes,
Jed Brown coming in on the wrong angle.
Did correct. I said Blake, of course, he did the right thing. Brown did the wrong. And Parker made them pay by putting it out just outside that 22. Attacking chance again for Otago.
Well, this is where we saw Otago earlier throw the ball wide straight away. They've dropped off a couple of big fellas out to the midfield here. Willie?
Scored from the last line out. They'll be backing themselves to do the same. Got a fancy move on. Donnelly to Tanaka, and they'll run it up centre field through Evans, and it's available for Tanaka, and he brings in Donnelly. The nice loop around for Tanaka. They're playing with supreme confidence. Parker with the inside pass to Matt Patterson. They're inside the 22 by 10. Protestations from both sides. Canterbury convinced the referee that they're in the right.
Unbelievable by Luke Cartanet. He's the man that saved Canterbury because Otago were looking so dangerous from the set piece. Donnelly did so well. They set a mid-target and then came back the blind, and it was just Faddis that got isolated.
Well, they've come with a good attitude, Otago. They've pulled 2 fantastic moves straight off the training paddock, really. But there, Cartanet did a great job getting over the ball and diffusing the situation.
You've got to back yourself. When you come to Christchurch, you don't come to make up numbers. You've got to attack them at every chance. And so I like their attitude, Buff.
Dead right, Willie. You can't come here and wait for Canterbury to come at you. You've got to go and attack them. And they're doing that, just that.
For now, looking for a straighter throw this time. And he got it. Referee happy. And, oh, huge tackle. I'm trying to get a pass, still found its mark. It found Osborne, and he found space. The handling so assured at speed. And that's made a big difference. Whitelock to the 10-metre mark. Ball available to Hines. He has Blyndell running with him, didn't need him. The support from all quarters. Adam Whitelock this time places it for Hines. Blyndell in readiness. Inside pass. Whitelock's everywhere. On the 22. Now Otago's mettle on defence will be tested. The inside pass to Fennell, and he brought down quickly. But ball available equally so. An untidy pass this time to the rescue Katasoma, but an illegal. They're playing it on the ground.
Holding on. Same as 14 down there, sticking goal at 11.
I think you'll find Fumiaki Tanaka is the man. Well, he's only about 4'0", so when he jumps over the player, you don't see him. And Canterbury guilty of holding on. I like the width that they have as well. And have a look at this. Just the execution there. Once the ball was on the ground, he had all rights to it because he was on his feet.
Karasoma just having another wee play at the ball. Just unfortunately, once you were down on the deck, you are out of the game, Tom.
Yep. He started out with the right approach. Couldn't resist. Ball to Franklin. Tom Franklin in charge of the line-out calls for Otago. Called himself. Took the ball. Karasoma didn't take it. Knocked backwards and then falls kindly for Taufua. He's over the 10-metre mark and beyond. Blundell holds the ball up. The pass was late, was knocked on, and there's trouble. Coltman first to pounce. Tanaka and Parker puts the low kick in. The grubber. It'll go all the way to the touchline and inside the danger zone for Canterbury.
I'll tell you what, some bruising hits going in here. Just as guys are getting the ball away, they're getting absolutely nailed. Hayden Parker just keeping a level head, putting the ball down and saying to Canterbury, if you want to score, you've got to do it from 80 metres away.
Crucial that Canterbury pull this ball in. Go to Simmons. Yet again, another crooked throw. Is that the call, or does he want it again? No, it is a crooked throw.
It's twice too that we've seen the Canterbury line out just not quite right. It's both throws have been...
Yeah, we were talking about stats on the way here, weren't we? And just how sometimes you can't read them, but Canterbury line out was working at around 87% efficiency. And that's not the case today, whereas Otago are only 78% and they're doing so much better. Also the variation too of Otago winning the ball with the full line out, scoring a try, and then the next line out going to the short one.
Had a scrum for a while. The last few, Otago have struggled a little bit. The pressure comes on.
A little bit. If you're an Otago forward at the moment, you're saying let's not go to a scrum.
We agreed inside about stability. Let's get a stable for the ball, eh?
They may have sussed it out, Willie.
Still not sure about this asking the 9 to put it in. Righto 9, you can put it in. I'm sure they're intelligent and enough to be able to put a ball into a scrum. And all it's doing is making it tough for the hooker. Is he ready yet, the hooker? Because he's the one that's got to hook it.
Tells both hookers what's happening, which I think is enough advantage for the team who have offended. As they put the way on, and here it's Otago that have entered early and therefore gifted Blundell a chance, although it is a free kick. He'll just be happy to get it out of his 22 plus another 40 metres. Have to run it all the way back. The high kick from Breen is going to be fielded by Taylor, who towered high above all others, and the ball shot out the back, enabled them to run onto it. The half volley pass picked up by Karasoma. Blake made the tackle, slowed him down, didn't stop him. The job done eventually by Tanaka, and it's Canterbury still in possession. Jed Brown impressing in this outing already.
No.
Was in support with the tries to be scored. He's now ensuring that the backs like Osborne get plenty to run on to. Still a little slow on this occasion getting it out. In fact, Otago back themselves to turn it over. They're mistaken. Hines sees a gap, but it closed very quickly indeed, thanks to Gareth Evans. The ball's been turned over this time in Otago's favour. The kick from Parker off his right boot is useful enough. Pins Karasoma back. He decides to take the kick himself off the left boot and accomplishes what he set out to achieve.
Well, it really has been quite an interesting part of play. Canterbury just not quite nailing their opportunities. They've just turned the ball over a couple of times at crucial sort of moments, and it's given Otago a bit of breathing space, to be fair. You see another quite wide set-up by Otago and a good win by Franklin.
Yes, indeed. And Parker on the double round. Met with staunch defence, thrown on the deck, but to his good fortune, fell the right way. Blake was able to find Fuatai. He's got a taste for that goal line. Otago fans that have come up have moaned and groaned. It was late, but the referee disagrees.
Oh, Osborne's just given a wee bit too much space to Fuatai at the moment. He's building confidence every time he gets the ball. I like the look of him down this left wing, and just put in a nice wee kick there. Patrick Osborne's going to have to be a wee bit careful.
Long throw. Oh, for a second there, Taufua may have fumbled it, but he regathered before it touched the ground, and Hines punches it into touch and into the grandstand.
Well, once again, Willie, we see Canterbury, they get themselves in a situation in the 22. They take their time, they do it right, and another good kick out.
Oh, they're so clinical, aren't they? All aware of what their job is.
Well, no problem at line-out time for Otago. It's a set piece they're enjoying. And Moffat off to Faddis, and Faddis gets to the ground. Moffat with a clean out, and Paul Grant, ball in hand, sucks in a few of the Canterbury defenders, and they release it so that Parker can drop the grabber. Osborne's confused, knocks it on, so the net result is success for Otago.
Oh, they're putting a lot of pressure on this Canterbury team, and little things too, like grubber kicks like that, where you've got to go back down low. Patrick Osborne is a big tall guy, he's got to get low to get that one. Putting a good chase on.
I like the variety that they are using too. Fellas, at times they look to push it wide, come back at different angles, and then just that grubber along the ground, and I can't wait for 6:30.
That's right, New Zealand, South Africa. For 30 years since New Zealand's been beaten at Eden Park, and about 100 since South Africa's won there. Followed by Australia, Argentina. The question mark, of course, can Australia win their first match in the championship?
They've been battling a wee bit, haven't they? And made some big changes too, Tom.
Yes, and came out not with an axe but with a scythe. And of course, outside of the test matches, there is other rugby to savour in the counties Manukau Taranaki. Just to note there, the grandstand sold out, but there is tickets on the banks, so plenty of room for those who'd like to go along and support them in their first defence. And after you've watched that, don't leave the couch. Hawke's Bay Northland at 4:30 from the Plain Park in Napier. Better engagement this time round, but destined for the turf.
Well, Shane McDermott's not going to muck around. He's going to talk to the front rows. Let's just see what he's got to say to them.
Gentlemen, we all had a discussion inside about stability, getting in, getting nice and stable, and we're not getting that at all, okay? So let's you guys sort it out, or I have to start dealing with it. Nice and stable, nice and steady, and wait for the ball, okay?
Willie, this is the only part of this game that's not entertaining.
Yeah, exactly, and look, I like what the referee had to say there, that look, it's up to you, the front row, you control it, otherwise I'll start dictating through cards and penalties. The only problem that I have with the scrum here is that in the past, you used to have to wait so that you didn't get the jump. They're a lot closer now, the cadence doesn't have to be so slow. Referees sort of take an eternity to actually get them engaged here. Look at this, pause, pause, pause. Why the long pause? You don't need it.
Let's see if it worked this time round. Just here comes the pressure from Canterbury. Well repelled this time. Grant gets an easier ride at the back, enables them to run it and suck in that defensive line. One or two of them at least. No forward progress at the moment, but they'll snipe away. Getting closer was Evans, 6 out from the line. Plenty of weight in behind he. And this time the first defence is Matt Simmons for Canterbury, a chance for Otago to go in front.
Well, this Otago tight 5 is really fronting up. They've got a bit of a pace in that first 8 minutes in the scrum, but they've done well to hold. They've got a good set off the back with Paul Grant. And they've got their penalty that really they sort of deserve at the moment because they've been playing all the rugby.
And I like this kid. We didn't know too much about Gareth Evans. You may have seen him quite a bit, Buff, but those of us in the North Island hadn't seen. But boy, he is worth gold. Evans, Grant and Blake make up a terrific back three for Otago. But you did right. It was the tight 5 that actually had the stable scrum to get Grant over the advantage line.
You know, he is a good boy, and he's been playing well. He's also very adept at number 8 as well. But man, he's been playing so well at 6 for Otago, that's for sure.
This should be the lead, and it is. So Next opportunity Otago heads with their own bucket heads in the stand. They took.
Otago 10, Canterbury 7.
You've got to admire Otago. They really were under the pump there that first 8 minutes, but they've come back into this game and they've thrown everything at them, Willie. They've moved the ball from side to side. They've tried different things. They've mixed their game up and they've put a bit of pressure on Canterbury.
We'll be wary though that Canterbury have been slow starters in some games. It's been even till about the 30-minute mark when they put their foot down. So any points that Otago can put on them prior to that mark makes it that much harder. Parker immediately looks for territory and finds it. And make sure he kicks it well over the hoardings, then that reduces the chance of the quick throw-in.
Well, that's something we used to talk about when we played against Canterbury ourselves. We knew they had Mertz. We knew they had guys from the back three. Ben Blair was another one. If we were going to kick for touch, we made sure it went right into the grandstand and they couldn't take quick throws. So this Canterbury team's another classic example of that.
See that time that Otago spent on attack, and fruitful it's been. And since that try from Canterbury, they've done precious little attacking. Now they've got to do some defending. They've got to stop Evans, and they do about 8 metres on their own side of halfway. It's Franklin using those long limbs to get 3/4 of the way through the tackle. Pass fired out via Parker. And Spence in at second 5 today. Sure of hand. Kanaka also quick to release the ball. So both halfbacks giving their backlines every opportunity to run into this ball. Franklin again with another handle. His workload and work rate impressive this season. Clean-outs coming from Canterbury, but not enough numbers in red and black. Coltman to the ground, and after gaining a half a dozen metres, getting there in small bites. Otago, and they've got themselves another penalty. Here comes Parker for another shot.
And I think you'll find it was Adam Whitelock there, and just doing the old classic of just getting past the ball and then just hanging around, just being a nuisance. He had a chance to get out of there, did Adam Whitelock, but he just, I don't know, lurking with intent, I think you'd rather say.
Yeah, nice terminology, Willie. Lurking with intent indeed. What they are doing is putting a lot of pressure on the breakdown, but just not in enough numbers, really. It was just their ruck before that one that the penalty came. We saw Fennell over the ball there. It wasn't the penalty, it was just one beforehand. Adam Whitelock.
Well, Willie, they're on the lookout long term for young hooking prospects. This man here, too, Liam Coltman's impressed me every outing.
Well, he is quality. I know that he got the opportunity to train with the All Blacks for a week, and that was ahead of the Ranfurly Shield victory. And just his maturity, watching him during the warm-up as well, like he's just, I don't know, growing in stature, and things can only get better for the young 23-year-old. What a prospect.
Oh, and the fans love him because they love that kind of attitude. Stop me if you can.
Well, this boy here, probably one of the better kickers. Don't want to put the mocker on him at all time, but he really does spend a lot of time on his kicking. He's hit one beautiful one from the other side of the field. Can he put some more points on the board for Otago?
So from a reasonably comfortable angle, hits that with confidence, runs away from the tee because he knows it's over, as we do.
Brendan, how do you deal with all the noise that there is there? Do you just block it out, or do you actually go and train and put a ghetto blaster next to you with loud music?
What was that about?
Well, I'll tell you what, it does get very, very noisy. And I suppose you just got to try and block that out. You do just concentrate on the things that you do at training, you know, putting the kicking through the ball, making sure you're hitting it sweet, and he definitely does it very well.
Another deep kick-off, and Skipper Grant, boy from Balclutha, made it safe, and Parker makes it even safer. And as we spoke before, it didn't go far enough. Hit the hoardings, but regathered, and that means Canterbury have it back in play. Whitelock, to Crotty, he just holds on, but has the skill to do so under pressure. Which way will the ball fall? It's a frantic scuffle to get it out Canterbury's way, but they achieve it. Blindell of his right boot finds distance, but he'll find Parker as well in waiting. Sizes up his options, he's on his own, so it'll be the distance kick to Osborne. A little bit shaky prior to this, but no problems this time out, looking into the sun. So that's not easy. Two props, Miller and Manson taking Otago. And Crotty moving sideways and then forward. Tackle him first time if you want to snuff out the move. Otago didn't, so Canterbury, Osborne putting in the fend, the other one hand holding the ball. Pass not the best from Hines this time. Bounces kindly for Fennell. There's Whitelock clearing out. That's Adam Whitelock. Ball available to everyone, says the referee. Spence got in there, made life difficult for Canterbury, but not able to affect the turnover.
Yeah, they're just not firing on all cylinders at the moment. Canterbury, there's been a couple of opportunities. The ball's been at the back of the ruck. There hasn't been near someone there to pass it. When he has passed, he hasn't hit that first receiver. But man, how dangerous is this guy? Patrick Osborne, he holds the ball way out there, but man, he's made so much space for other guys to run off from him.
Yeah, interesting having a look at some of the stats about him as well. 10 carries is what he's averaging in a game, around 90 metres, if not more. And always beats at least a couple of defenders. In fact, he holds the record there with 6 defenders that he beats in most games. So that's how dangerous he is.
And he also drags defenders to him as well, Willie, which gives opportunity for someone to run off him.
Today he's fending off guys he might be playing with shortly. It's off to the Highlanders. There's some of this Otago team. You're hoping to join them in that squad. Hines with the long pass across the Crotty. He runs straight this time and straight through the defence. And Tanaka's holding on for all his life is worth and succeeds in bringing him to the ground and buying the team a penalty to this Crotty. So they'll be happy, as is Taufua. He's decided we've had enough of this chasing the blue. Let's make them stretch on defence. Cartani getting very close to the line. He's 8 out. Hines with the ball now. Blindell thinks he can cut inside. He's right about that, but wrong about getting to the line himself. So gets to the ground, makes that ball quickly available on the turf. Hines to the right. George Whitelock ever so close. Hines again. Thinks about it himself. Katasoma, clip round the ear. Not a major offence, but enough to buy a penalty. Canterbury would prefer the try. They might take the easy 3.
High tackle.
Yeah, Katasoma once again so low to the ground and dangerous. Unfortunately, Tom Donnelly just can't a wee bit higher there. Big man on small man. Probably always going to be the outcome, but just with Canterbury, they just seem to be not far away from breaking this Otago defence. They're very much getting across the advantage line every time. And it's making it very hard for Otago to set their line so they can come forward. Here's the high tackle, bomb right around the shoulders and obviously moved up. You can't really call that a massively high tackle. Not really any intent in that either, Willie, was there?
No, not at all. And he was actually falling as he was being tackled as well. So benefit of the doubt, or the all rights going to the red and blacks. But yeah, they're not as clinical as they normally are they, Canterbury? But as you've mentioned, Tom, on a number of occasions, they're slow starters.
Yep, around about the 30-minute mark by my calculations. We're, what, 32 into the game, and they've got some more points. But it's going to be important. Otago shore up now. Don't concede tries either side of half time, and in fact score some themselves would be ideal.
Yeah, this Canterbury team, they certainly do make it tough for you, but Otago, to their credit, have been playing extremely well and playing most of the rugby, to be fair.
Great to see families out here enjoying some of the great deals offered by the Canterbury Rugby Union. And they'll be enjoying this match too. A close encounter, lots of running rugby, interrupted by scrums. That might get better as the game goes on. Blindell. And Crotty running a lot more now and running straighter than before. And the net effect is that he's broken through yet again. Adam Whitelock added about 10 metres to that. Blindell tries to do the same. A late tackle there by Blake, and I don't mean in an infringement kind of way, but at the last minute pulled him down.
Terrific work from the open side flanker. That is quality out of the top draw, because it's the first 5 on a loose forward coming across on the angle, and he had to check before he committed himself to the tackle. That was danger time for Otago, Buff.
Yeah, it really was. Like I said before, they're just not far away from breaking out this Canterbury side. We saw there Moody coming round and supposedly knocking that on. I'd like to see that again. It very much looked like Mia went straight down and across. So see it down here. Blindale so close to getting away. Blake right around his boots. Here it is here. Boom, straight to deck and sideways. Crowd really in the stand here going bananas.
Oh, it's great to see Blake back in the pre-season game against Southland and Gore. He dislocated his elbow, but he was lucky there was no ligament damage, and that enabled him to get back on the park so quickly because he was going to be the first choice flanker, and he will take an active part in the rest of the campaign if all goes well injury-wise.
Tell you what, that scrum happening just in front of me, and Moody was the first one that actually went to ground. So now loose head and tight head on this side where the referee isn't, having their own little game. It's a classic.
Well, the hookers are really struggling to get the ball back too, aren't they? Just that hook, it's not something they're used to doing. So it's proven to be a real problem. Get the ball back and free, ready to go.
Keep an eye on this, but there, Moody on the right, Manson on the left. And it happens on the other side.
So is that the right decision or not, Willie? What's your verdict?
We couldn't see what the referee has actually given the penalty for because it happened on the side that he was actually standing on. Certainly wasn't the competition between these two that where our camera was.
I said that Craig Miller's just gone straight in, but it's a tough one, that really was. It was right in front of him, so we've got to back Shane McDermott. We won't see it really that well on this side, but he said he's gone straight in and under. And that's the penalty, so we've got to go with it.
Well, interesting choice by Canterbury. They had a chance to level up the score and be back in Taylor to do so from that distance and range. They have an alternate plan. Let's find out what it is. First of all, pull the ball down the back of the line out, and Lyondale get Crotty underway, and they just hold on. It was so close to a knock-on, but not. Now Adam Whitelock looking for the line. Tom Taylor finding it. So that was the plan, perfectly executed, and that's the punishment they wanted to inflict just before half-time.
Well, there it goes, just before half-time, like we said. Just about every time Canterbury get a sniff at 5 minutes out, either side of half-time, sorry. Done exactly that. Very well worked try, Willie. Moved the ball, good line out, perfect pass. Lyondale moved the ball. Crotty, to be fair, his last 4 touches straight through. Great hands by Kurasoma. The ball shifted, and into that man there, Adam Whitelock, who really did make the space, and Tom Taylor finished it off very well.
Yeah, they should have done better here, Otago, because they certainly had the numbers, but they just crowded in, and then the hit and spin from Taylor. He's all class, as we saw when he played in the with the All Blacks, his first Test cap. And well, Tom, you've obviously read the book, Tom, because that's the reason why they didn't want to go even into half-time. They wanted to go ahead.
Yes, read the book and watched their previous games this season. And those two defenders both assumed that Taylor would go on the outside, so that left the inside channel available. And he not only scored the try, he missed the conversion. But they'll take the 5, they'll take the lead by 2, 15-13.
Yeah, they really are very dangerous, and like I said before, they haven't been that far away from breaking the line. That was just a really well worked try, straight off the training paddock again. Really, they've probably done that sequence of play dozens and dozens of times.
Well, they've quickly worked out that Crotty is probably the most dangerous back at the moment, and they've used him the last 4 times, and he's delivered. Otago need a counter plan for the next time he has ball in hand. This guy's not easy to stop either. Osborne holds it two-handed. Sensible, given that Coltman was on him. Now, Taufua grabs a couple of yards upfield. Back inside the 22 they go. Blindell keeps the ball in the field of play, bounces it into touch. It's a beauty. Otago desperate to keep it alive through Breen, who puts the ball up with height but no chance of chasing that one down. Blindell doesn't call for the mark, there's no pressure on him, and he exacts revenge by the measure of 50 metres. Otago starting with Breen at the back, and he thinks Perhaps the touchline's the place to go. He won't find it. Now Hines and Osborne combining. Osborne decides not to run it up this time. Taylor is in good touch. Let's give him a run. Up to the halfway. Still a minute or so. Otago need to shut this down. And quickly, Osborne with a beautiful one-handed pass to Fennell. And Moody. They're all running at pace and confidence. Lost the control. And Breen runs it back strongly just as the advantage is called over.
Good sequence of play, Canterbury. It's just that offloading, isn't it? You said earlier about Osborne getting the ball in one hand. He gets past the player, offloads well. They've got guys running off him. Very dangerous when they get going, Canterbury.
Throw to the back of the line out, not accurate. The line out's something they'll discuss at length in the shed. And that'll be high too, I would suspect, on Spence. Sure, the referee has caught an advantage, but will play on nevertheless through Hugh Blake. Gets to the 10-metre mark. Otago just love to score here. There'll be no time for a riposte from Canterbury. Coltman drives those legs through the Moody tackle, but not beyond it. Parker, he chooses Breen, but the timing of the tackle, there's been some wonderful hits. For those who love defence in the game of rugby, which can be as entertaining as attack, there's been plenty of both. Coltman struggles to keep the ball alive for Otago. Franklin runs it straight and over the 22. Hines has to scramble to make the tackle. The danger far from over. Parker on the inside. Oh, Miller very close. There's 6 out Otago and they've conceded a penalty. All the good work undone.
Well, take about 2 Canterbury players. Crotty firstly and also Jed Brown, the open side flanker. What was the Popo doing with the ball in the first place? What a line that he ran, Miller. Oh, so close, but what a finish to the first half.
It's been a wonderful 40 minutes of rugby. Entertaining. It's been sizzling at times. It's been the odd delay through the scrummaging process, but the rest of the game has been well worth watching. We'll confirm the score. It's a slender lead to Canterbury by 15-13. And we're going to hear from Tom Donnelly. He's with Willie Losay. Any quicker or better than that,
Well,
Brendan, as to what Canterbury need to do?
You did right, mate, and he's did right. You know, they've just got to show a bit more composure, and they've turned the ball over in times where they didn't really need to. So he did right, and that'd be one of the shortest halftime interviews Willie's ever done.
1881, these two teams first met. I don't know what sort of game it was, but Otago did win by a goal and a try to nil.
Stunning game.
This game will be higher scoring for sure. As you say there, the first time the Canterbury Union Otago clubs played in 1879, but the first official time they played as provinces was a couple of years later. And they've played each other 159 times, which isn't the record. In fact, West Coast and Buller have played over 200 times, but the record held by Southland and Otago, 236 times they've played each other. So great traditions here in the South Island for longevity. Grand trophy up for grabs.
And just a word from the assistant coach for Otago as well, fellas. Spoke to Phil Young. He said that they just need to be mindful of their depth, and in particular out wide where Canterbury love to try and spread it. So hopefully the message got through to the boys in blue.
Was that a shorter or longer conversation than you had with Jason Holland?
Well, yeah, I tried to get a lot out of him, but I thought, no, I better let him go. He looked a little bit nervous.
Well, I don't blame him, to be fair. I don't blame him at all. This Target team is quite capable of getting up and winning this team, but beating this team, but they've just got to do the simple things right and make their tackles.
This 5 minutes absolutely crucial to Otago's cause. They can deny it. Canterbury some points, score a few of their own and apply some pressure that Canterbury haven't felt this year. That's the way to win this encounter. Tanaka's kick is a tester, but probably a little bit further than he'd hoped. No problems for Taufua, Taylor and Blindell. And here comes Katasoma, and he gasses that one. Fetter's got to him, as did Moffat. So inside Canterbury's territory, the ball's been turned over. Grant's on it. Tanaka's looking for some backline support and gets it from Breen up from fullback. Parker puts the grubber in, and territorially that's a victory for Otago early doors second half.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, Tanaka's kick just probably a wee bit long, and this Canterbury team, you don't want to be kicking them too much and give them too much time. But we saw exactly what Canterbury are going to do. They're just going to move it straight wide, straight away. Another line-out loss, though, for Canterbury.
But a win in the end, but certainly not as planned. Chance for Brown to have a run with ball in hand, didn't get too far, but Hines, despite having support left and right, goes for the kick underneath it for Ty. Scored that nice try. He's got Otago back in this match, and they haven't relented since. Breen's kick. Good distance on it, but Taylor up to the task, as you would expect. Applies with a kick of his own. Chance for Parker to have a quick throw, but it escapes him.
And that's the an indication of just how strong this breeze actually is in Otago's favour. And so I think you'll see them playing a lot of the game down in that corner.
Bit of awkward sun there, though, for Otago. Willie looking into that?
Yeah, not so much now. It's actually the shadow's actually gone right across the ground, pretty much, so no problems with that.
Now Grant gets a hand to it. They win the line out, Otago, so they're not complaining. How? Tanaka thinks the short side there's an opportunity, and Evans did well enough initially to keep it in, but they have conceded possession again.
This Otago team, they've come out with the right attitude in this first couple of minutes. Look like we're going to head to another scrum. Well, this really is going to be the biggest point here, this scrum.
And this is Kieran Moffat. Now, he and Liam Coltman and Tama Tuirarangi having a beard growing competition, so I'll get Willie to comment on who's winning that. At the end of the season, they're going to have a shave off and put the money into charity. They've formed a charitable trust called the Bearded Brothers, and they're going to give money to kids in hospitals. So keep an eye on that competition for us, Willie, and give us your opinion as to who might be leading the charge.
Yeah, I think Coltman got the jump on them a wee bit too, so I think he had a head start. That's a great looking beard there. Oh, what a wonderful idea and a great charity, and I hope it's supported and I hope they raise lots of money for it.
Yeah, good on the guys. I'll tell you what though, to be itchy stuff though, that first couple of weeks in, Willie.
Yeah, I might not get many girlfriends either on that occasion too.
We'll keep you posted about that date for the shave-off, so you can all make a contribution, I'm sure. Grant gets that ball, a tight head. So Otago scrum, which was under so much pressure, has had a victory for the moment. Dashing back, not waiting for the kick to go over. That was a judgment call from Karasoma, and he's had to kick it out in the attacking position. Otago, they'll enjoy it.
Well, Tanaka, he might not be able to say much English, but I tell you what, he read the situation perfectly there. Grant straight, strong off the back of that scrum, or turnover ball from Canterbury, and the wee kick into that far right-hand corner was perfect.
Franklin pulled it in, and he'll be giving out commands, no doubt, and giving him a lot of responsibility this year. And he's so far performed well with it. Otago looking menacing at the moment. Canterbury tested and stretched, and Otago free it. Chance for Miller, got close last time. Is he over? Not quite. Tanaka likes his chances burrowing in and extracting the ball. Didn't on that time, but Coltman took over and said, I'll get it to the line. Not quite. Still no forward progress, but they'll take the scrum as a concession.
Well defended Canterbury. They were under a lot of pressure there. Otago getting very low. They set up a great wall. Canterbury defended so well. It's one thing they do. They put a lot of pride in their line. This Otago side we see here, Tanaka and Coltman must have been very close.
You have to say one thing about the scrums, Willie, is that Otago clearly inferior in that regard in the first half. had a chance when they weren't putting the ball in to get some back, and it was quite effective.
Yeah, they've obviously talked about it and they've got better as the game's progressed. All they need to do here is just be stable. They've just got to lock in and just make sure that they're all as 8. Staying strong.
And we saw late in the first half that Grant was given a much better platform and licence to roam. Not this time.
Hey, I'm sorry, I can't sit back on that one. That's ridiculous. Now, why would an attacking team not want to actually put the ball in?
Well, at the end of the day, I didn't actually hear him say yes,
did I.
9.
That's my point. You know, a little bit of common sense at times. Clearly it wasn't stable there. Have a look, the hit's there. It's still moving around. He can't put the ball in now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. He wouldn't have been able to get the ball in at all.
Get another chance through the line out. Grant off the top. Parker through the dummy. Not bought by Jed Brown. Came up, made his tackle. A good fist of his opening role in the 7 jersey. That kick a shade too far. Canterbury with the throw into the line out.
Yeah, unfortunately there, Jaden Spence, not really the right option, but Canterbury did very well. They come off the line very fast. Put a lot of pressure on Parker. He didn't get the ball away.
Good contest from both parties. And some indecision about who has the throw in, but Canterbury given the nod.
They did. I'll tell you what, Otago were trying hard to get that one.
Lost the debate, but they'll win the scrum.
And I'll tell you what, Tom, they might even make some changes here, and not bad All Blacks or ex-All Blacks to bring off the bench, are they? Because Corey Flynn and Andy Ellis are not too far away from getting their boarding pass, and maybe that will make a difference to that Otago lineout that really has struggled today.
Nice luxury of talent, but look at that. 5 lineouts in Otago's favour. That's something to boast about.
Yeah, it really is. They put a lot of pressure on there. You know, we've got 2 very, very good locks. We've talked about Franklin, but the other guy there, Tom Donnelly, has been an All Black, so he's been around a while, and he's a very handy footballer.
Yes, Tom Donnelly, Tom Franklin, Tom Taylor. Can never have enough Toms. There's even a couple of Willies out there if you count them carefully. Drop by Moffat on the cutback. It's a good idea, but in the pass wasn't perfectly timed.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a couple of... We really saw a first half start like this. Both sides just making a few mistakes. As we see, here it comes now, Willie.
There he is, the 32-year-old, 67 caps. And he's hoping that he can make a difference at line-out, but more importantly at scrum time too. He's so strong as Corey Flynn.
And Corey Flynn and Shane McDermott both played for Star and Invercargill at the start of their career. But that will have no bearing.
I'm sure Corey will still talk to him though. It's good to see Corey Flynn back. He's had his fair share of injuries, but he's such an experienced player for this Canterbury Union and so loyal to them as well.
So good crowd here today. A lot of them on the camera side, but they've enjoyed the occasion. Lots more to come. And Crotty gets the ball in hand, but this time Otago worked it out, put him on the deck straight away. Makes it so much harder. Loopy old pass there, but pulled in. Now Lauda did well. The guys in the front row showing some ball skills. Flat pass, a perfectly good pass from Lionel to Crotty. He throws it on the inside. The help with Taufua, they propel forward. Lionel's pass this time to Brown. Miller making the tackle. No, he's impressed Otago management for the most part. Miller might not be quite so popular this time out.
Yeah, he did make the tackle. He did very well, actually. Put the guy on the deck, but just didn't roll away. Canterbury getting this opportunity to have a lick here. I would say he's probably going to go for touch. They've proved that in the first half. They did that.
It's a consistent approach from Canterbury.
2 more changes coming up as we see where the infringement occurred here from Otago. Just not rolling away. There he is, just going straight to deck and making no attempt. But on is Andy Ellis in jersey 20, and also Johnny McNichol replaces Keta Soma on the left wing.
Yeah, it's a big welcome back to Johnny McNichol. Broken ankle. Naples taken time. Deathly silence when the kick was taken. They thought it was too far. It wasn't. It set up this wonderful ruck for Canterbury. They're over the line. The question is, can anyone see the ball or a Canterbury hand on it? The referee says no.
Time off. Time off.
Can have a look upstairs, perhaps.
Well, Lipa Lalala's got his hands in the air. He reckons they've scored, Tom. And in fairness,
Johnny, are you there?
probably will be right, but
Can you give me a reason to not award the try?
Well, there we go. Obviously, he has seen the ball on the ground in Canterbury possession. What happened in the interim is the question.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do the same now. We just can't hear the song.
it's very hard to see there, isn't it? There's the ball.
Where's that? That's spot the ball at 8 o'clock in the old paper.
Don't they put the ball in later in that competition?
If you can give me a reason to not award it.
Can't see a lot there from
If you can give me a reason
my
to not
angle.
award it. I'm not giving you that.
But remember the question. He's looking for a reason not to award the try.
And I think you'll find that the TMO will probably say there's no reason why you can't award it, so there's no infringement. Evans actually collapsed that as well, so maybe a bit of justice for Canterbury. This will be a try.
Yes, all in readiness for the affirmative decision from McDermott. Third try to Canterbury. And either side of half-time, we said that they were a threat, and they've delivered that in spades.
Yeah, great start for Canterbury. As they look to put another big player on, Willie.
Yeah, I think it was Laulala who actually may have been credited with it, because once it gets in the hands of the front rowers, you need a
Yes, we'll get
crowbar to get it out of them.
we get some confirmation of that, but it did look like he was the one that stood with ball in hand. Whether he grabbed it off someone else, we're not sure, but
Another great change coming up as well, Tom, while we have a look at Tom Taylor setting it up. Good work from Jed Brown today, the open side flanker. He's been replaced by Luke Whitelock.
it hardly weakens the lineup, does it? It's Taylor. Bit of a moan and a groan. I don't know why. Perhaps he was kicking in front of Otago supporters. They slotted the goal and increased the lead. It's 22-13 to the Red and Blacks.
Yeah, it was really a great setup from the drive, wasn't it? They did so well. Lala on the side there.
Yeah, it won't be him.
No, let's rule him out.
I think it might have been someone like even Corey Flynn or something like that, because he was right in the middle of that.
Yeah,
He'd probably claim it anyway, will he?
And now a comfortable lead, but an uncomfortable catch. And Otago, well, they need to strike back quickly. They're in prime position to do so.
Well, Paul Grant, the captain, I'm sure he said under their sticks, hey boys, we've just got to go back up there, get our hands on the ball and attack like we have the rest of the game.
Coltman to the back, and how often does that come off? Very seldom. Whitelock's not complaining, George, that is. Just taken 15 metres off the deficit. Osborne's strength keeps it in, and Ellis's pass centres it up. He's there too to clear the ball when it's on the ground. Crotty looking for passes left and right, and judgment says keep it safe, and they do so, just playing the numbers and percentages.
And he snuck on. Sorry, fellas, didn't give you the word on TJ Ione. You'll see him there clearly in jersey 19. He's replaced Hugh Blake.
More space.
Yeah, well, Blake was very good today too, Tom, wasn't he? For a guy that's been out for so long, he's come back and really has played well.
Yeah, sensible from the Otago management, given the time off the game. Give it your all for 53 minutes. We've got a tidy sub in Ioane and be fit for next week. Pass to Parker. Ugly. The kick much more alluring, in fact, on a penny.
Very well done. Man, he's got a level head on his shoulders. That ball was put right behind him. It wasn't a great pass at all by Coltman. And he's just picked the ball up, got a bit of pressure on him, and put it in the right spot. Well, very well done, Parker.
Well, let's see how Corey Flynn goes with his first throw to the line out. Their ball.
He's a candidate for that last try. Corey Flynn. His throw, well, no more effective than his predecessor. Line outs for Canterbury, well, they've been awful. Ioane gets close to the 22, but not over it. Nowhere for Evans to go except down, and in fact held up for a second before getting it to the grass. Ioane, a crowd favourite, another one who gives it 110% every week. And Evans, accurate and unimpeded, untethered until the final moment when Ellis got over the top. And the argument gets them nowhere but back 10 metres.
You've got to admire Andy Ellis. He was always going to kick that quickly. Gareth Evans just taking one too many rolls, and unfortunately rolled straight into two Canterbury defenders who went straight over top of the ball.
He was doing roly-polies, wasn't he? Just on a little game by himself was Evans, and then he just rolled into the defence of Canterbury.
Time off.
The thing I don't understand is that you give them an extra 10 metres and then you want the game to flow, so why would you bring him back for not taking it on the mark?
Hold on. Wait, time's off.
Well, they've got to take it within about a metre, I was told at the beginning of the season. Whether that was close enough or not, the referee adjudged it not to be so.
Tuarirangi on for Manson.
Well, yeah, all the beards on display for you, Willie. Taufua, he's been very effective around that middle of the field region. Crotty, well, he's got the ball skills to pull those sort of passes in. He won't appreciate them, but he won't let them go either. Inside to Kathany, and he's held up and stripped by Paul Grant. Just got in there and made it his own, but of course now he's formed them all. So could be punished if they can't recycle for some good work. He can't. That's such a tough rule.
Very tough rule. He's done so well there. Unfortunately, the Canterbury player just going to weave it upright. He's just been turned straight over by Paul Grant, who then has been held up.
Well, that's the last act for Katane because he's been replaced by Big Joel Everson in jersey 18. And have a look at that. Just ripped it clear, but Whitelocked it brilliantly to get in there and secure the ball to ensure that it didn't come back out. Andy Ellis chipping in as well.
Well, some boys down on the ground out there.
Yeah, Corey Flynn's one of them. He's okay, and of course there is that impressive number 10, Hayden Parker, also getting some attention.
Well, there's been some wonderful ITM Cup rugby so far this week with some upsets, and will there be an upset here? New Zealand the favourite, of course, at home against South Africa. Tune in and find out who the favourite is in the Australian-Argentina game. A little bit harder to determine. We like to think Argentina occasionally can have some favouritism. They've improved out of sight from those early encounters with South Africa.
You did right, and as you gave South Africa a wee bit of a scare over there, it wasn't until the last 5 minutes that they got into the game and won it, so they're definitely capable, Tom.
And when your weekend finishes with a Ramfley Shield defence the way they've been going, who could ask for anything more? Ellis, Blundell this time with a kick pass, waiting for his Osborne. He's got one player to beat. Can he do so? No, yes, no. He thinks he's celebrating, but I don't think it's going to be confirmed.
Oh, he had acres of space there, Willie. There was a great cross kick, but man alive, he twinkle toes down the touch here.
Watch the feet.
Yeah, he's definitely out. Good work from the assistant referee. He spotted that. And they've cleared the bench now. Well, only one more reserve to come. Whanunu's on in 17, replacing Moody.
He was out 4 times, actually. Good cover from Peter Breen, though. Got across and stood his ground.
He did a great job, Breen. He might not have necessarily made the tackle, but he just put him off balance.
Well, this time Canterbury win a line out, and it's not one of theirs. They'll take him any way they can. Ellis, both hands on the ball. And now Luke Whitelock gets it closer to the centre field where the choices are plentiful. Trotty, look at him trying to struggle through the Fettis tackle, trying to look for the pass. Not passing sometimes, as skillful as passing under pressure. Ellis, here's the intercept from Matt Fettis. Has he got the pace? He tries to step inside. There's plenty of cover. Adam Whitelock's got him well and truly wrapped up. But here's a counter-attack opportunity for Otago. They've got huge numbers, Cotman among them. Now they've got support from Spence. His kick will find Taylor going backwards. It won't get to the goal line. Taylor under pressure has to put in a kick. Otago will find themselves well deep inside the 22.
Well done, Fettis. Very good work over there on the far side. Turned the ball over. And what he did do was he hung on to the ball. It gave Otago a chance to clean. They had plenty of numbers, probably a couple of bigger numbers, smaller numbers in there that didn't help. But they were on attack here with the line out.
Would have liked to have seen Spence actually release the ball to Fuatai, who was to his left.
Still they've got a second chance, and it's a jolly good one. Here's Evans. He's drawn a penalty in his favour, and it's right out in front of the post, so they can really chance their arm here. Franklin can't even get his arms out, but did get the ball placed. Ioane this close to the line and ever-present danger, and loves it. Tanaki got the pass away. They've got no further closer to the try line, but they'll have that advantage for some time to come, the way the laws are applied these days. You don't score virtually. You're back to where the kick was legitimate, and it was 18 that was called as offside, which is Joel Everson.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
I would go for the line out. The scrum is, well, it's a bit tricky for them, but they'll probably take the points.
Goal on, please. 18 stepping through.
It gets him
pass the ball.
closer. A couple of bonus points, or a bonus point, a victory. They'll take anything from a visit to Canterbury.
Yeah, you did right there, and there's still plenty of time in this match. Still 18 odd minutes to go. It's only 22-13. They get another kick over. I know it's a big ask, but they've got to keep themselves in the hunt.
Well, that puts them a chance of a converted try to go ahead if he gets this. I should say when he gets this, a reasonable confidence that Tanaka will make that his own. But the rumbling in the background as the Canterbury crowd try to put him off, and they do not succeed, but he does. So the gap narrowed to 22-16.
Another couple of changes down there, Willie.
Yeah, Tom Donnelly is replaced, and we're about to see jersey number 22, Michael Collins, come on in just a moment. So O'Connell on, and Donnelly off.
Franklin awaiting
One more.
as the changes are made.
Now they've got 16 players on because 22's running on, and nobody has left the field yet, so they're just waiting to find out exactly who it is.
That improves your chances.
Looks like Jaden Spence, Willie. He's walking out the back of the field there, between the posts.
It's too far. And that is a big mistake.
Guys, just to update you as well, that breeze is just slowly starting to pick up as well, so that's why you're seeing Otago now look to try and get territory first before they launch the attacks. And this is the perfect attacking scrum.
Well, the other thing you too see sometimes too is they put a lot of reserves on, and you just get a wee bit of a change of momentum in the game. Hopefully that doesn't happen, especially for this Otago side. But you do tend to get a bit of that. The sort of rhythm goes a wee bit, Tom.
Absolutely. And that can apply also to Canterbury. It doesn't matter how good your bench is. They've still got to find their feet in the game, the pace of the game. So those last 20 minutes, whoever gets themselves the better organised could be the victors here. It's that close. A few were picking that Canterbury would win this game quite comfortably. Well, far from it. Otago are making them work for every point. And the scrum yet again down.
Yeah, we had a go at Otago for going early, a bit earlier in the game. Well, that there, Canterbury went early, so they're really struggling with the scrums, and I think to be fair to the referees as well, it's a very tough floor to tough part of the game to rule on. So.
Oh, come on, Buff, get off the fence, mate.
No, I'm serious. It is a tough one for the referees, and no disrespect to the referees, but not a lot of them have actually been up in the front and actually gripped on and had a scrum, so it is very tough.
Sit! Heading down, 17. Play!
It's a quick tap from Grant, and he gets 10 metres, and he'll get another go at it too, because Canterbury weren't back enough. Ioane, a rare time that he's put on his backside quickly. Miller strong enough to wriggle his way through the tackle, go back to that original penalty, and now it's within range.
I was just about to say, Tom, that I think he thought it was indirect and that they couldn't have had a shot. That's why Paul Grant tapped it very quickly. But it was direct, and now they've improved it by 10 metres. And you've mentioned it, the wonderful prices that the Canterbury Rugby Union have offered the crowd. 9,462 here today.
Good on them. Fantastic. They always get good support here, Tom, don't they?
Well, good deals and a good team to watch every week. They play entertaining football. There's some big names, and they roll them out and play them in front of their home crowd. For that, they need some credit. You don't rest them. They play the good guys whenever they're available.
Saying there that he wasn't back on side, he was within the 10. I'll tell you what, he was only just for the number 8. So big kick here from Hayden Parker. He's right smack in front.
I had a chat with him just after the Ramsey Shield game. He said the first few weeks he wasn't striking them that well. They were going over, not quite on song, and he's back in his rhythm. Canterbury are going to be very careful, and they could see this lead whittled away and perhaps erased eventually. Parker was halfway back to his goal line the moment it left the tee. He knew it was over. The gap now just 3.
Yeah, and you do know, as soon as you hit them, it's really just going to come down to a bit of distance. He hit it on line and really has got Otago right back in this match. This bit here for Canterbury's got to be done right.
And I'll tell you what, you've brought the crowd into the game as well.
Yes, they are vocal. They've been entertained. There's Franklin again solid when it comes to taking that high ball at kick-off time. Dunicker decides that he's going to put in a towering kick that's highly chaseable, but confusion among the two Canterbury players has not yielded the ball. They still have it, and Crotty this time straight away to McNichol. Good to see him free running after such an awful injury. It'll be time before he gets back though to full fitness. Whitelock, he's always fit. Crotty on the inside, pulled in by Lalala. Good hands from the front rowers from both teams today. They've run the ball well. Whitelock has 2. Blindell, another one-handed catch. Skills are just astonishing. Whitelock, George, Ellis, Andy, and Whitelock, Luke. Yep, so far the Otago defence has just drifted across and stopped the runner promptly. Oh, a contest there from Evans, but he was denied. Blindell beautifully halfway through the tackle, enough to free the pass to Crotty. And they're keeping it alive, Canterbury, and showing good patience. Taufua, and that's Fa'anunu. They lost the ball, and so has Ioane. The first knock on, though, I think, that of Canterbury. No, off the boot, says the referee. Therefore, the offence is against Otago.
Yeah, he's got it dead right too. Shane McDermott's done a very good job there. It definitely was off the boot. We'll see here. Boom, the offload. Tell you what, this fella, Craig Miller, has made about 4 tackles in that movement for Otago. He's done extremely well for a tight forward. He's really getting around the track. I know what, they've got some big reps on him down there.
Well, the nice thing about it was that Phil Young had said that he's concerned at the way that Canterbury moved the ball east to west more than actually getting momentum, and that's a good defence. And all eyes tomorrow afternoon at Ecolite Stadium. Good to hear that there are still tickets available as well, so if you're in the region, get along and support Tunners boys.
Yeah, fantastic support for the parades earlier in the week. I'm sure they'll be there in big numbers. Just for the Hawke's Bay supporters, just because they lost the shield, I'm sure they'll be back there to back them again. Against Northland, some important championship points up for grabs.
Stay.
And then controlled by Taufua. Ellis. Blind. Adam Whitelock looking for the line again. Found it 5 times already this season. Taufua. So dangerous for Tasman at that close range. Big lunge by Whanunu. They're confident it's a try. McDermott is not, but I think the replay will reveal that's a bonus point for Canterbury.
TMO, Johnny, I was unsighted. Try or no try, please.
I'll save them the time. It's a try. You can't stop 130 Ks when it's 2 metres out from the line.
Yeah, he was trucking, wasn't he, Willie?
Truck and trailer.
And trailer. It was what really was a good tackle. But like you said, this guy was moving, and I don't think he has been stopped.
I need one look for that.
Man on the side, he's got the inside information.
Thank you so much for coming along this afternoon.
There's no question over the planting. Maybe just a wee bit before that, Brendan.
Yeah, just gone back just a little bit more. I don't know what he's really looking at. He's looking at the guy getting taken out, but I don't know why.
He's a long way out from the ball carrier, though. I don't think it had an impact on stopping the try.
Well, the big crowd have seen it on the screen here, and so this will be awarded the bonus point try here for Canterbury.
They don't get to vote.
Got no comms.
So the message has to be run out. He got close enough to show the thumbs up, and that's the signal that Shane McDermott needed to confirm that try. But that man there, Paya Whanunu.
Well, the young kid that has to run the messages out, the assistant referee, he's earned his paycheck today. Well, boy, he's hard to stop that close.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Great concentration, great awareness by Canterbury, and well deserved.
Yeah, they really are a dangerous team, aren't they, Canterbury? They've really haven't had much ball, Willie, in this second half, but what they have had, they've used reasonably well, and they've got in positions to score.
They're so dangerous, aren't they? They move the ball, and they've got so many weapons, and the impact from the guys coming from the bench.
And Tom Taylor looking to another couple, and achieves exactly that. And we can confirm too that George Whitelock has been attributed the third try. So in total, it's 4 tries, and it's 29-19.
20, 16 and 21 are on as well, fellas. So Renton, Anderson, Heather, and also Scott.
Do you remember being the last line of defence, Brendan, when these guys were coming at you?
Oh, mate, I've been there. I think I distinctly remember a game where it was young Richie McCaw's first match, and I'm pretty sure I confirmed he was going to be an All Black that day. He scored 3 crackers.
Yeah, you gave him the green light, didn't you, every time?
Did right.
Hold, no.
It's cruel, Willie. Brendan was a fine defender.
You made him, Buff. You made him.
You know I did, mate.
Faddis keeps it low, a testing kick. And the test that Tom Taylor passes with a plum. His kicking skills not quite up to his catching skills, but he'll do the chasing. TJ Ioane, and that's the mark of a good player. You make a mistake, you get in, make the tackle, make up for it. Dragging them close to the touchline, keeping them up is Luke Whitelock. That's strength for you. They'll either get the line out or the scrum. That's their betting, Canterbury. They'll take either. They'll probably prefer the scrum because they're going pretty awful at the lineouts. But this is a good drive from Otago. They took the ball in. It's moving. That's why it's still alive. It's an impressive drive if they know where the ball is.
I don't think it's ever coming out of there, that's for sure.
Well, Luke Whitelock, I'm sure, will get the plaudits.
Yeah, Andy Ellis riding in on the ball as well, Tom. He definitely wasn't. It's one thing he does really, really well. There is a wee sniff of getting in on the ball. He does it extremely well. Unfortunately, Renton just a wee bit high. He had a wee bit of a lick down the blind. The opportunity as we see Ryan Crotty come off.
Yeah, boy, what a game he's had too. You mentioned it earlier, Tom, that Canterbury started to get some momentum when Crotty started challenging the line and going forward. He's been replaced in jersey 21 by Rob Thompson.
Yeah, everyone, I know that follows the game, applauded the fact that he got pulled into the All Blacks this year after the long tenure of service and effective service at all levels. Down here, that's a great look at the scrum, and it tells us on this occasion it's been carried out to the law. Now they'll have to work it up. Thompson made it available. Blindell, with his long reaching kick, takes play to Breen up for the 22. Enjoying this little foray as a fullback. A little bit at fullback, mostly on the inside backs. Ioane, well, he's everywhere. Slips past Osborne, but onto the deck quickly. Connell. Placement for Renton. Across the back line, Paul Grant just had a bigger part to play as the scrum improved. And Connell. Ball available for Renton again, so some good recycling by Otago. They're chasing the game now. They've got 10 points to make up in 5 minutes. And you'd have to say, given their contribution to the game, a bonus point would be worthy at least. But a kick won't get them close enough.
Yeah, they really have contributed a heap to this game. I don't think people were thinking that Otago were going to come out of this game with many points in the bag at all, but they really have gusted out, haven't they?
I've redone my maths, and that will take it for 22 to 29. It will give them a bonus point. So at least, and a shot at better still if they're successful.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw Jocko Parker, the masseuse, he sprinted out there with the tee. I'm pretty sure the message was get the bonus point. It could become very crucial later on in this. Like you said, Tom, win or lose this match, they possibly might not move too far on this table.
Well, they pick up at least a point. Let's say at least a point. Canterbury aren't conceding too many bonus points. So if they can do something other teams can't, it might help in the end tally. Parker, deadly accurate today. Would love this one. And again, absolutely confident the moment it left the tee that he'd added 3.
Oh, they deserve it, don't they? They've come to play the rugby. And after what we saw in their last performance against Tasman, many have suggested that they're playing against one of the best teams, of course, 5 in a row for Canterbury. And so this was a formality, but I like the attitude of the Otago team.
Well, with Tony Brown and Phil Young coaching them, they were always going to come out with the right attitude.
This game is well and truly alive. There's a draw in the offing if Otago can do something special from this far out. Bringing up at pace, Faddis uses the shoulder to brush off Thompson. Thompson comes again. Ball needs to be quick to Renton. It scored last year in ITM Cup this. Pass was poor, but sometimes that turns out nicely. Not on this occasion.
Well, they've been impressed by Tom Franklin. Unfortunately, he got a dipping ball there. It was the right pass to give too. They were in space. Unfortunately, TJ Ioane's pass was just dipping on him. He shouldn't be too hard on himself. He's putting his hand up to say sorry, but man, he really has trucked around this paddock today, Willie.
Yeah, he has, and I think that we're so used to seeing TJ Ioane actually taking it into contact. That was the right decision, because had the ball been taken there was plenty of opportunity down this left-hand flank. But have a look at this, Ioane. There, Whanunu was coming up, and I think perhaps it was Coltman that was supposed to be the receiver. Just in between both of them, really.
Well, that's the standard set, isn't it, Brendan? When you are disappointed about dropping a difficult pass, because at professional level, you want to grab them all.
Yeah, did right. He's that type of guy too. He's got a great attitude to his rugby.
It's a good solid scrum for Canterbury. They'll be out to really put this game beyond doubt. Bounces nicely enough for Osborne eventually, but look at Ioane's come from nowhere to save the team for the moment at least.
Well, what about the shoulder work from Osborne actually getting rid of Fuatai, sorry. Fuatai. He gave him a little bit of a nudge even before he had got the ball, so that's interesting.
He definitely gave him a nudge, all right. See it here, great weak kick by Ellis. Perfectly weighted. Here it is here, bang. How the hell is that not a penalty? I do not know. Anyway.
It's a fair contest for the Bulls.
Yeah, exactly, Tom, yeah. If you're not Fuatai.
I keep saying rugby's a game of contests.
Well, it's been another fantastic Otago Canterbury contest, hasn't it?
Enthralling.
They're going to go 100 metres, aren't they, fellas, and score a try that's converted to make it 29 all.
Absolutely. Parker from the sideline. Make him feel better. Back him too. Every day. Scrum pressure immense. Unstoppable. Paul Grant, no chance. And Canterbury think they've scored. They may well be right. And have they denied Otago a point? Well, if they're voting for it, the answer is yes.
Time off.
And that was power personified.
Yeah, I've played in a few scrums that have gone backwards quicker than that, and well, you got to feel for Paul Grant because it
try or no try in the corner here, please.
It just really puts so much pressure. Try or no try is the question. So he's asking the TMO to have a look. I think this is a try, fellas.
Yes, I think there might be a penalty if it's not. So let's just have a close look. Grant brushed out of the way. Andy Ellis thinks he's scored. He gets the plaudits from Taufua. This will tell it.
It was Johnny on the spot, wasn't he? Here it is there. Paul Grant, unfortunately, going back in a million miles an hour. There's the ball, and who's on it? Andy Ellis. So I think
a question for you though, Brendan. Is Andy Ellis onside? Is that ball still in the scrum? I don't know if there's anything left of the scrum, of course.
I suppose there isn't much left of the scrum at all, and you've got to admire the Canterbury scrum.
Still a scrum. Oh, he's disconnected though.
Yep.
He's disconnected.
He stuck his hoof in there as well.
Yeah, not entirely by the letter of the law, but he knows how to stretch it.
He certainly can sniff an opportunity. And I think he's got a try for them. Here's the touchy sprinting down this line again.
I think you'll find, fellas, I just got word of it, there won't be a try because they're saying that Ellis was never onside.
Yeah, well, that's how we called it here too. It looked a bit suspicious.
Yep. Number 20 red, offside.
Ah, we got one right upstairs, Brendan. That makes a nice change.
There's still a chance for Otago too.
Absolutely.
And then 20 has gone offside first.
Who'd has gone, fellas?
First penalty is for the front row standing up.
So it's a penalty against Otago anyway. What will Canterbury do? They'll kick it out. There's no reason for them to deny Otago a bonus point. They're playing in a separate competition.
Front row standing up.
No, they're going to go for the scrum.
Standing up.
I don't think they will. They're just saying, why should we bother? We've got the game won. We've got our bonus point.
What are we doing?
Andy Ellis didn't want to go.
No.
He was saying no.
Well, the 9,000 people want them to run it.
They're going to have a
shot at goal. And Otago, well, one way or the other, they could be brought to their knees here.
Oh, Andy Ellis was having a bit of a giggle to himself. He was saying, why do we need to do that for? We've scored all the points, we've won the game.
It's not much southern hospitality here because Otago, if they lose a point through the successful kick, and you'd be not looking towards the post because the chances of Taylor slotting it pretty good.
Yeah, well, he's been hitting the ball pretty well all day. He definitely is one of the better goal kickers in pretty much both competitions that we've seen this year. So
what happens if it comes off the post and Otago go 100, fellas?
You're banking on that 100-metre try, Willie.
Have you put some money on that, Willie?
We're looking for the. I tell you what, we're looking for the try of the year, aren't we? And if they score from this position, give it to them anyway. But I'd suggest that Taylor will do exactly that, separate the posts with the ball. It's over, so's the game, so's the victory, and so have Otago come away with nothing. Canterbury have 5 points from this match that they've won by 32 to 22.